I'm going to be showing you how to use Photoshop Elements to put text on an image where you've got some color changes to deal with. Now, if you have elements with the new layouts, which is Elements 11 and Elements 12, you're going to have the same tools. I'm using Elements 9. You're going to have a toolbar. Instead of an options bar up here at the top, your options will be along the bottom. You're still going to have your layers panel. It'll just look different, but the things will still be there somewhere. Now I'm just going to show you three relatively easy ways to put text on an image so that you don't have dark text on your dark trees, etc. I put this together from a couple of images I got in Google Images so that you'd have sections that were light and sections that were dark and sections that were in between. Now I'm going to drag all of these to the trash can and get rid of them. Also, you may be putting text on your image that is smaller than this, and we'll talk about that when I get to the end. Okay, let's do the first example. I'm going to click on the text tool, and we're going to put this one up here toward the top, and I'm going to be doing the same words. Now is the time to go, period. And we'll move this over here. And we can see that when the text turns dark and goes into the trees, you can hardly see it. Now, one of the easy ways of doing this is to just come over here to the toolbar, use your magic wand tool, make sure contiguous is unchecked, anti-alias is checked. I have the tolerance at 25. We're going to be click on one of the letters and all of the letters will become selected. Go over here to your background. I want you to drag it to the new layer icon to make a copy, or you can right click duplicate layer. And I want you to put the copy, drag it up above your text. And now you can see that you've got the selection in your picture. And I just want you to press Control J on your keyboard. That will boost, let's see so you can see it here. That will give you a copy of your text, okay, with the image in it. And we can actually right click and delete and right click and delete. Okay, well that's nice, except since it's taken from the image, we can't see it. Click on that layer to highlight it. Come up here to Filter, Adjustments, Invert. Okay, and that gives you basically a negative of the colors you have in there. Now, unfortunately, with elements, we don't have a whole lot of things to do. A whole lot of choices and options with this. Open your Effects panel. Click on the second icon from the left, your Layer Styles, and click on Bevels. We're going to give this one a simple bevel. And that helps it show up a little better. Don't worry that it doesn't look. We can try that one. You can try a number of different bevels. Now that one's a kind of smeary. Okay, so's that one. So kind of keep it to the simple bevels. I actually like the flat ones. Okay, let's stick with that one. You'll notice when you put a layer style on it, you get a tiny little FX. And then this lets you, we can bring that down a little bit. Click OK. We can also put some glows on it, or even a drop shadow, but I prefer the glows. Let's go inner glows and just use a simple one here. Click the FX again. If you click on the swatch, you can turn it into a different color. If you only want a different color, I don't particularly want one. Let's decrease the size so we can see more of our lettering. Click OK. And that's one way you can do that. Now, you can see here it looks kind of like, I don't know, a Dalmatian dog. That's because it's actually got the texture of the trees in it. Okay, let's close this up. Click on the text tool. Let's try the second one, which is using a gradient. Same lettering. Now, is the time to go, period. And try to line it up here. Okay, now we've got another text layer. We want to simplify it, makes it easier to work with. We can do that in a minute. Once again, grab the magic wand tool. Anti-alias is check marked. Contiguous is unchecked. We want to either put new or add. I usually just use add. And click one of the letters and all of them highlight. Now we're going to use the gradient tool. And here it is down here in the toolbar. Click on it. You get your gradients. I want you to select the simple black and white gradient. We're going to change it. Then I want you to click Edit. And if you've never edited a gradient, don't be afraid. Gradients have these little bottles at the top and the bottom. Don't worry about the ones at the top for now. On one side we have white, on the other side we have black. And what you need to do is look over here, and about a third of the way is light colored, so you want that to be dark. And about 2/3 of the way, all these letters, the time to go, is in the tree, so it's kind of dark, and you want it to be lighter colored. So what we want to do is we want to take our little light colored bottle and bring it over here till about 2/3. Till about 2/3 of our thing is light colored. Okay? Now, we've clicked on this bottle. We want to change the color to the light color. So come over here. Don't worry about this. It gets a little here. We want to, in your sunrise or sunset, pick one of the light colors. I'm just going to use that one. And then click over here on the dark bottle. And click OK. Come back to your edit dialog. Click on the dark bottle. Click on color. And we want to pick one of the greens over here in the tree. Okay, click OK. And click OK. And now we're going to run this. And so you might run it. Just, this says your text layer has to be simplified. It's a vector layer. Click OK. Also come up here in your options bar or in elements 11 and 12, down below in your options bar, and you need to pick what kind of gradient. Just use the first one on the left, the linear gradient. Start right here where your period is, if you have a period, and click and drag it all the way to the end of the now. And, did it backwards. I've only been using this program for like 12 years. Okay, start on the now. Click over here to the period. There we go. And then we can do Control D to get rid of the marching ants. And we can do the same thing. We can click on Effects. We can put a nice little bevel on there. Let's use a simple one. There we go. And we can put some glows, simple little inner glow on there if we want to. And we can adjust them. I like the bevel. The glow is a bit much here. Wrong one. Okay. Click OK. And you have a bunch of other things you can try. Inner glows, image effects, etc. One of my favorite is, what was I doing? Oh yeah, complex. And then I did one of the purple ones, just turned it purple just to see what it would look like. It didn't work. Okay, and you can try all those if you'd like. Let's undo it. There we go. Okay, let's close up effects and let's try the last one. The last one's similar to the last one. Wait a minute. I'm going to show you something here. My bevel's a little bit too big. There we go. Okay, the last one, click on the text layer, and we're going to make 2 text layers of the same sort. Just click and type in, "Now is the time to go," period. Okay, check mark. And we're going to right click, duplicate layer. Okay, so now we have 2 layers here. We're going to make one a light color and one a dark color. We're going to use a mask. This gives you more control than the gradient does. I think it's a little easier to do. Take your, okay, first of all, and click on the one down here. I poke the eye out to make one invisible. We're going to deal with one at a time. Take your magic wand tool, select the text, okay. We're not doing the top one, we're just doing this one. Then we're going to use the paint bucket tool, and we're going to come up here, click the swatch, and we don't have to mess with the color picker. And I want to make this one kind of dark, so let's pick a green from the tree. What is these are darker greens than they look like, huh? Okay. And then I'm going to take the paint bucket tool. Okay, to simplify it, always click yes. And there, I've turned them all green. Now I might want that a little darker green now that I think about it. Let's do that. Click the swatch. You don't have to mess in here. You can just take the color right from your picture and make that a darker green. There we go. That's dark. Now we're going to click this one on. Click on it to highlight it. I'm over here in the layers panel now. I poke the eye. Now I clicked on it to highlight it. Grab the paint bucket tool again. Click on the foreground swatch. And this time pick one of your light colors. Your orange or your yellow. That's kind of a bright yellow, isn't it? There we go. And then I'm going to click, and I'm going to get the message again to simplify. Click OK, and click yellow. Okay, now let's do Control D to get rid of the marching ants. Now we don't want this to be light colored, obviously, so we want to add a mask to this top layer. Make sure that top layer is highlighted. Come down here. Look for your mask icon. It's a rectangle with a circle in the middle of it. And there's your mask. When your mask is selected, it has this other line on the inside margin. When it's not selected, it's just a plain old white rectangle. We want the mask selected, so click in the mask. Then we want to make sure our swatches are black and white, so click D on your keyboard. I don't know why that switches them, but it does. Click X to bring it back, or click the arrow to bring them back. Click on your paintbrush tool. And you can see up here, we're going to paint on our mask. I usually like to use a fuzzy edged brush. Anyway, 48 for now. We'll see how big. Well, that's not very big. Okay, that's good. Normal mode, opacity 100%. And what we want to do now is just paint. And this is the wonders of masking. Okay, takes it right off here. And if you want to do a little bit here of the edge of the T maybe to blend it in, just take your opacity down a little bit and kind of do the edge of the T. Okay, now all you have to do is right click on that top layer, merge down, and it combines the two. And then you can add your effects to it again. You can add a bevel to this one, and all of them will be beveled. And you can, add a glow. We like our inner glows, don't we? And then we can change the size. There we go. Change the opacity of the glow. We can change the size of the bevel. I don't like them too big usually. Okay. And there you have it. Those are 3 easy ways to do what you need to do. Now, if you're going to have multiple lines, I've used a large font and only one line at a time. If you're going to put a little paragraph or something, you're going to have to play around with the effects and things you use on them. But this is one way that you can go from light colored or bright colors to dark colors and still have your text show. Okay? And actually, this is Elements and Photoshop Elements, so there actually is probably 2 or 3 more ways you can do this and get it done. And I hope this helps.